BRICS is rising. Six new nations are joining BRICS. It's Saudi Arabia, Iran, Ethiopia, the UAE, Argentina, and Egypt. So BRICS will now account for over 50% of global oil production. The total GDP of the BRICS nations now comfortably exceeds that of the US-led G7 nations. And there has been talk for quite some time of a gold-backed BRICS currency that will offer an alternative to the US dollar and the euro. And at a recent ceremony to celebrate the UAE's admission to the BRICS, the Russian ambassador Mr. Lavrov gifted a symbolic BRICS currency note to the UAE ambassador. So, when will the BRICS currency be officially unveiled? And will a gold backed BRICS currency shake the US petrodollar's hegemony? Please subscribe and let's find out. This video is sponsored by West Red Lake Gold Mines. Here is their ticker on the screen. It's WRLGF. So creating a gold-backed BRICS currency would be similar in some ways to the Bretton Woods meeting in 1944, where a new gold-based international currency architecture was created. And as we know, the centerpiece of this Bretton Woods system was the US dollar. And this all came in the aftermath of the chaos of the Great Depression and the events of the Second World War. So the US dollar was installed as the world's reserve currency, and it was linked to gold at $35 an ounce per ounce of gold. So this system laid the foundation for 2 decades roughly of peace, prosperity, fixed exchange rates on all of that. And this obviously came to an end when President Nixon, I believe, delinked the US dollar from its golden anchor in 1971. And since then, various governments have tried, they've attempted to move back towards an international arrangement based on gold. For example, going back a few decades, in 1950, Mao Zedong ended hyperinflation in China by fixing the Chinese yuan to gold. Now let's move forward a little. In 2009, Libya's ruler Muammar Gaddafi proposed a pan-African currency, the gold dinar, which would kind of echo the gold dinar coins of the Arabic caliphates that once ruled that region, North Africa. So he proposed an Pan-African gold dinar, but as we know, he was assassinated in 2011, and this put an end to such plans or ambitions. Also, in the same year, in 2009, the head of the Chinese central bank said that an international reserve currency should first be anchored to a stable benchmark, and it should be issued according to a clear set of rules. He said that its adjustments should be disconnected from economic conditions and sovereign interests of any single country. Obviously, he was referring to the US. And he said that the acceptance of credit based national currencies, as in the case of the current system that we are in right now, is a rare and special case in history. In 2019, Malaysia's Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad proposed a pan Asian currency based on gold. He said that we have to depend on the US dollar, but the US dollar is not stable, it's a fiat currency. So the currency that he was proposing should be based on gold because gold is much more stable, and everyone knows that gold is the most stable commodity that has historically been the most stable. So clearly there have been many proposals to return to a stable gold backed system, but that would not have come to anything if it was not for the outbreak of the Ukraine war in February 2022, the special military operation ordered by President Putin of Russia. So we had the outbreak of the Ukraine war, and this was immediately followed by the isolation of Russia from the entirety of the Western financial system, which included US banks, European Union banks, the SWIFT system for international bank payments, and all that. So every sanction that you could imagine was dumped upon Russia. Russia was isolated from the Western financial system. The Russian government was ready to make interest in principal payments on its euro-based bonds, but it was unable to do so. It was simply not able to do so because it was cut off from the entire system. Additionally, about $600 billion of foreign reserves, Russian foreign reserves that were held in custody in the US and the European Union were frozen, and they are likely confiscated. So this has come as a wake-up call for all governments worldwide, all countries worldwide, especially countries that hold dollar and euro foreign reserves, or countries that use the SWIFT banking system, which is essentially the entire world. So it's a wake-up call for everyone, and it tells the world that the time has come, kind of, to set up alternative arrangements, because who knows, the US or the West doesn't like you for whatever reason, they can cut you off, and your economy is going to be ruined if you are not an autarky the way Russia is. So that's why there is now this renewed emphasis on de-dollarization, and the world and various nations are looking for an alternative to the US petrodollar system, and that's where a BRICS currency could come in. It would be a currency that's backed by gold, and for that, you need the BRICS nations to hold substantial gold reserves. So you can see that the RIC nations, Russia, India, China, are among the top 10 when it comes to gold reserves. Russia actually has more gold than China. And as you can see, both Russia and China have, over the past year or so, ramped up their gold reserves. So there is a massive demand for gold right now, and gold prices are currently very close to an all-time high. And this demand is only going to increase as the world seeks an alternative to the US dollar. So the question then is, when is this BRICS currency coming? So before we get into that, I want to introduce you to today's sponsor, which is tied directly to the world's increasing demand for gold. And that's a company called West Red Lake Gold Mines. So if you're an investor, you should pay attention to what I'm about to show you, because this is a unique company. It's a seriously undervalued company. It's possibly the most important company in the gold sector today. So here is the ticker on the screen once again. It's WRLGF. So the West Red Lake Gold Mines Company is part of the Red Lake region in Ontario, Canada. And there are many other gold companies in this region. There is Evolution Mining, which is the largest operator. They own all of the areas that are in yellow. There is Yamana Gold, which is a $1 billion company. There's Equinox, which is a huge success. So they are all in this area, and you will understand why this area is so important to the gold sector. So this company, West Red Lake Gold Mines, has a current market cap of $66 million. It has $13 million cash in hand, which gives it an enterprise value of $53 million, and it has no debt. This company holds no debt. So the current market cap of this company, West Red Lake Gold Mines, is about $66 million. The previous owner reached a valuation of $1 billion just a few years ago. So keep that in mind, because it gives the company an upside potential of 1600% or 16 times your money. So what does the company own for $53 million? So West Red Lake Gold has acquired the past producing Madsen gold mine and its 800 tons per day mill. So this mill is an incredibly strategic asset, because no other company in this area owns a mill. And the previous operator of this company, during the COVID lockdowns and during the reopening, did a really big mess in putting the mine back into production, and that's how this opportunity came about. And this was seized and capitalized by Frank Giusra, who is a self-made mining billionaire. He is the person who knows this area arguably more than anybody else. So this is a very lucrative opportunity, and this is his forte. It's his specialty to find these opportunities and then buy these companies and immediately put together a much better management team and execute on the highest level. And they've put a terrific management team together. There's a terrific management team and terrific board of directors. They're exceptionally capable and successful operators of gold mines. So you have the people that know exactly what to do with this asset. And one of the major shareholders is Frank Giustra, who is a self-made mining billionaire, like I said. He is the person who knows this area better than anybody else. He owns 11.8% of the company, and he is instrumental in co-founding West Red Lake Gold. Sprott Resource Lending Corporation owns nearly a quarter of the company. So think about that for a second. That's the most capable and most efficient and most disciplined asset manager in the company space, owning almost a quarter of the company. So about 35% is held by the best asset manager and arguably the best mining entrepreneur. Then you have Van Eck, who hold about 6.5%. Axilent holds 5.1%. Evolution Mining, which is the big dog in the Red Lake region, owns 2%. Other institutions own another 16%. So what can we understand from this whole situation? We see that there's incredible valuation and incredible jurisdiction, incredible management incredible ownership, and a fantastic opportunity to go back and prove that this company is really worth $1 billion if put in the right hands, with a current market cap of only $66 million and about $13 million cash on hand. So here is West Red Lake Gold Mines stock ticker, which is right here on your screen. It's WRLGF. The stock right now, as of this recording, is trading at 47 cents per share. It's about up about 72.56% year to date. So check out this company. As always, do your own research, do your own due diligence. This is an incredible opportunity, most likely. The upside potential is incredible. So check it out, do your own research, do your own due diligence. I will have links to their website in the description below. Go check them out. So coming back to the BRICS currency. Is a BRICS currency coming? When is a BRICS currency coming? Is it imminent? So, like I mentioned, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, recently unveiled a symbolic BRICS currency note and presented it as a gift to the UAE ambassador. So, is it imminent? Well, it's not entirely imminent. So, there has been talk of a gold-backed BRICS currency or a commodities-backed BRICS currency that would be backed by a basket of commodities. So, there's been talk about this, and it was believed that it could be announced at this year's BRICS summit in Johannesburg, South Africa, which happened in late August 2023 this year. But it wasn't announced. The big announcement at the BRICS summit was that 6 new nations are joining BRICS, which is a huge move, obviously. Nations like Saudi Arabia, Iran, Ethiopia, UAE, Argentina, and Egypt. Some of them are very significant nations, especially Saudi Arabia and Iran when it comes to oil production. So that's a very significant move. That's a very significant expansion of BRICS, and lots of other nations are queuing up to become part of BRICS. So BRICS is going to become a big deal for sure. But a BRICS currency was not announced. And recently, India's Foreign Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said that India isn't interested in issuing a common BRICS currency. Instead, he said that India is more concerned with strengthening the Indian rupee. So, what does this mean? Does it mean that a BRICS currency won't happen? Does it mean that India will prevent a BRICS currency from happening? Well, that's not quite the case. This only means that a BRICS currency won't happen in the immediate future. It won't happen over the next 6 months. It won't happen over the next 1 or 2 years. But a BRICS currency is definitely likely to happen in the medium to long term. So think of a time frame of 3 to 5 to 10 years. Think of a time frame that extends until 2030. So in that kind of time horizon, you could have a BRICS currency happening. So you say, if the foreign minister says something today, it doesn't mean it's going to apply for the next 200 years. It means that this is currently how India is thinking and what India needs and what India desires and wants. But 2 years, 3 years down the line, you will see that circumstances change. India itself will change. The Indian economy will grow. And 3 to 5 years from now, India may have a whole different outlook on this. So a BRICS currency is something that will possibly, probably, perhaps happen in the medium to long term. Most likely by 2030, it could certainly happen. And in the meanwhile, we will definitely see more trade in the Chinese yuan, in the Russian ruble, and Indian rupees. So Saudi Arabia and China are trading in oil in the Chinese yuan. India and the UAE have recently concluded a trade deal in Indian rupees. And the Russian ruble also is quite strong. It's kind of backed by gold to some extent. So we're gonna see more trade in these currencies, and we can expect these currencies to get stronger. We can expect the RIC nations, Russia, India, China, to buy up more and more gold. We can expect gold prices to rise. We can expect China to dump more US Treasury bonds like they have been doing in the past, in recent times. Earlier, they had way more US Treasury bonds than what they have right now. Right now, it's gone below, I believe, $1 trillion, the US Treasury bond holdings. So all of these things will happen. The RIC nations will invest more in gold. They will focus on strengthening their own currencies. They will focus on trading in their own currencies as opposed to the US dollar or the euro. So you're gonna see this diversification in the global market. You're gonna see this gradual moving away from the US dollar and looking for alternatives, especially among the developing world, the global south. The little nations that have always been, told what to do, and they have never had any alternatives. So you're going to see this trend strengthening, picking up in the coming years. So de-dollarization, the thing that people talk about, isn't something that's going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. The US dollar will most likely possibly exist for decades to come, but alternatives will emerge. Alternatives are beginning to emerge. These alternatives will offer smaller developing countries alternatives that they did not have. They will offer them options they did not have over the past 7, 8 decades. And eventually, in the medium to long term, one of these alternatives could possibly be a gold backed BRICS currency, which, whenever it comes, could be a game changer. So, in the meanwhile, other currencies will get stronger and options will emerge. So eventually, you may have a gold-backed BRICS currency. De-dollarization is a process that will go on, that will continue, it will strengthen over time. But the US dollar isn't going to disappear; it's going to be around, and the US government will take possibly take steps to prevent too much of de-dollarization from happening. So this is an interesting, very interesting time in geopolitics. The 2030s are a time of great geopolitical churn, great geopolitical change, great amount of realignment. You will see the emergence of alternatives to the US dollar, but de-dollarization isn't something that will happen overnight. And a backed BRICS currency could eventually emerge in this decade. If it does, whenever it does, it could and will possibly be a game changer. So that is where we are right now. It's going to take time. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.